Yeah, incidentally, AC/DC, we probably sell more of their catalogue than any other band, and obviously because it's the only catalogue that you can't buy on iTunes or whatever. So as far as I'm concerned, AC/DC rock. I've worked in music retail for 30 years this month, starting off as a Saturday boy in my local independent record shop. So I've seen quite a few changes over those 30 years. And to a big extent, we're at the mercy of whatever artists want to do. You know, if they want to put music out on iTunes, then we have no choice on that. If it's an iTunes exclusive, so we just do the best with what we're given. But record shops 30 years ago, pre-internet, were a place where you discovered new music. The early 80s was when independent music and labels, as in post-punk and DIY, really took off. And it was great to be a young kid working in the local indie record shop when all that was happening. So if you read about an artist in NME or Melody Maker or Sounds, which was a music paper for the younger people here, the only way you could actually hear the music was to tune into John Peel and hope that he might play it. And John Peel's airtime wasn't enough. It was only a couple of hours every other day in the evening. Or you could visit your local record store and meet like-minded people and while away your time. So that was 30 years ago, and then for many years that was enough for independent record shops. It was kind of all you had to do was be there really, and open your doors and let people come in and look at your records, and that was enough. You didn't have to kind of offer any great service. In fact, most independent record shop people tended to be quite surly people and not really interested in sharing their knowledge at the time. And so the chain stores started coming along, and Our Price and Virgin and HMV, Music Zone, etc. And there was kind of little resistance from the independent record shops when they started expanding and taking over the country. I actually jumped ship at that time and left my beloved indie record shop that I'd worked since I was a Saturday boy, and the week of Live Aid went to work for Our Price and had a fantastic time. And later it became Virgin Our Price, and went to Richard Branson's house and what have you. And had the rise of CD kind of seemed to fit in with the chain store philosophy of piling them high and having mega stores and what have you, and at that time anybody could sell music. But things have kind of gone full circle now, I feel, and I ended up working in London as a buyer for Sanity, which was what the old Our Price stores became, and a good number of the old Virgin stores became too, which was a truly great job. It was still at that point before iTunes had really kind of taken off, and the record companies were still squandering vast amounts of money on things. And because I was a buyer for many stores, I was kind of showered with gifts and free tickets and invites to record company dues and all that sort of thing. But that wasn't to last, and I was facing redundancy. The whole kind of Sanity was another chain that went by the wayside after MVC and Music Zone and all the others. So I decided to kind of get back into indie record store retailing, using all the knowledge that I had gained, and it's been an absolute blast. We opened in Witney 8 years ago, and it was really DIY, to be honest. We opened with racking stolen from a few stores that I had managed to get keys for, and we basically thought that by turning the kind of industry on its head in terms of, well, we'll open, but we'll have the business ideas from the chains and the great kind of business ideals that I'd learned from running businesses, but with a passion for music and people that had a real kind of empathy for music working in the stores. So that worked. And over the years, we got to know the guys from Truck Festival, which, again, in terms of DIY and the festival scene, I'm sure many people know here, was a fantastic festival that kind of grew from nothing. And we've had 14 festivals in Oxfordshire, which every one of them has been absolutely fantastic. And we got together, realised that because of the recession and what have you, there was no independent record store left in Oxford. And so we decided to put one in there on the Cowley Road 15 months ago. With a view that it wouldn't just be a record store, that we'd put a stage and a PA in, have regular in-stores, become part of the music scene, and we encourage any of the local artists in Oxford, which, you know, Oxford is a great city with a fantastic music scene that punches well above its weight. And I know there's a few of the artists sitting in the audience, and it really is, I'm not just being biased, but it is a fantastic. I think some guys from Sony should come and see some of the acts in Oxford. You'd get a whole new repertoire. But and we, you know, I think we have become an integral part of the Oxford music scene through putting on the in-stores. I think I'm right in saying, well, I am right in saying we've had over 70 different acts play since we've opened, including Stornoway, Frank Turner, Guillemots, and loads of kind of really good local bands. And I think it's become a great venue because although, you know, the crowds aren't always massive in the shop, everybody that comes kind of listens to every single bit of music and doesn't talk in between the songs or anything like that. And the acoustics are really good, and you know, there has been some really special gigs there over the last 14 months. So my favourite example of DIY in Oxford would be when we did Record Store Day this year. And one of my favourite local acts, Robot for Souls, brought in a limited edition of 12 cassettes that he'd lovingly created himself. They're all cassettes, old cassettes that you might see in charity shops, Daniel O'Donnell, Phil Collins, or Cliff Richard's love songs or whatever. On each cassette he'd recorded his track at the start of the cassette. And then if you played the cassette onwards, it would then go into Cliff's love songs or whatever. But he'd also doctored the sleeves, you know, lasers coming out of Phil Collins' eyes, or tinfoil where Daniel O'Donnell's teeth should be, and that sort of thing. And of course, at £1 each, we sold out. But what a fantastic limited edition! What a fantastic example of DIY, I think. And yeah, that's it. That's all I've got to say.